look at prioritization exercise to make sure that what you guys think is the most critical items to address. And another question is, the city also has limited resources, so to the degree and extent that we can address every single issue, I can't even say that we will be able to do that, but we will definitely take a look at what's critically important versus us just staying in City Hall and determining like, well, this is best, because we don't, I don't know.
Let me just quickly add to that. A number of constituents here in the West End who fought to get street sweeping on the streets twice a week, which we do that in only parts of the city where we sweep the streets twice a week. If the majority of the residents want the streets swept once, they'll let me know. If they don't want to sweep at all, let me know. But I assume that that a lot of people wanted the streets clean here in the West End because this is the most dense area in New Rochelle. A lot of traffic, a lot of people. You know, we're sweeping the streets twice to make it clean. Honestly, I think it makes a big difference. And we've come a long way with those quality of life improvements along the Indianapolis and Western area in terms of cleanliness. In terms of the plows, we've had a number of issues with equipment breaking down. Yes, that is the sound of the times. That was last year. We were one of the first communities to be plowed, because I did look into that, and I looked into whether or not another community was getting better service in our community. And actually, we have pretty good service here in the West End. But we've had trucks break down, salters break down, and Lou, I know you see the same report, and so that may cause some of the problems in terms of how fast the streets are swept. So, but believe me, we are getting the best service. Lou and I have been on top of that in terms of West End, and ensuring that when it snows, we have plows out there. I know Lou will call DPW directly.
Well, talking about the streets, I like it, and I think I assume everybody likes it. But at this time of the year, start already, automatically look at the stuff that we sweep. And the alternate parking stops, and I think it will be January 1. January 1. Why don't you move the date 1 or 2 months before? Because we have the stops. Doesn't make sense to give tickets.
It doesn't coincide.
Once the street is not cleaned, and we have a problem. It's because this school has a lot of teachers that they don't get parking in the school, so they park on the streets. So they have like a tough time to get the parking spot themselves.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I also feel that when they have the alternate parking, sometimes on the side streets are until different times. In Union Avenue, it's 10 o'clock, and the side streets is 12 o'clock. And once the super pass by, I mean, it's hours that you cannot park on either side or anywhere in the West End because of the alternate side. The other thing also, I mean, it's one thing that you have a legislation to clean up as a sweeper, in which we like, but don't have a legislation and don't come by and give out tickets. The same thing with the legislation that they bring up for Thursdays and Fridays is for 1 hour or 2 only. So, you know, it really doesn't work because the sweeper does not come all the times the way they're supposed to come. So why have a legislation and ticket people that way when they don't, you know, come?
In Pelham on Fifth Avenue, that would be considered, I think, their main road. And I would think it's similar to Union Avenue in scale. Yeah, what they do, and I don't know how they do it. I'm trying to think about how they do it. They actually close off a piece at a time. Close it off. I don't know if they put signs. Somebody here may know. They put signs. You can't park here. I don't know if it's whether they're getting maybe right after a snowstorm. You can't park here tomorrow. I'm just saying between 8 and 10. And then they come and they get rid of all the snow. Then they'll do the next little section. They come and they get rid of all the snow. For Union, that would be good because there are a lot of businesses. There's residents. And maybe for Union, that might be something they could find out from that municipality of Pelham how they go about doing it.
The problem with that is,
Denise, we did that years ago back in the 70s. Union Avenue is the size it's always been, but when we have heavy snowstorms, people would take their cars, move them to one side, and then the street would you'd have the backhoe come down with a dumpster, and they would fill up and take off. So they did that years ago. And that's something we should be looking at now to go back to doing. But again, it requires a dedicated truck, multiple trucks, dedicated backhoe, and it's not something that's gonna take, an hour, it's gonna take days. But
I don't
that's
think
the way it
it's
has to
needed
be
on every
done.
little street.
No,
but
it's
I
just,
think
we're talking about
Union
Union
Avenue
Avenue, sure.
And the problem is, where do you displace the vehicles?
Double park.
Actually, double parking on the other side.
We still have, in the snow, there's still an issue. I mean,
That's why I
it's
say,
something
I
that we
don't
can
want-
look at, but it's.
Okay, so it's another story.
Pelham doesn't have as many vehicles as we have.
But on Fifth Avenue, they have a lot. They,
On Fifth
you
Avenue.
know.
I want to keep us moving, so
Okay.
we'll take all that information back. We heard this already, that you like the mixed use nature of the community and you consider it an asset. That's a value that we want to sort of make sure that we maintain. We talked about this. Is there anything you would like to add in terms of recreational spaces?
Another green space where kids could actually have more activities. They can play ball or ride bikes or actually skateboard or something like that.
Okay, so we're at our exercise, and because we want to make sure, because not everybody is verbal or likes to talk, we want to make sure that you get an opportunity, that we get an opportunity to get from you exactly what you were thinking. And so I'm going to hand these up. I think we have lots of pencils everywhere. And what we want you to do is to really, and we're really taking this,
Just explain to them what we're talking about, or scope of money goes, and
What can we
is it
use for?
1 year, and then that type of money, and how far we will be able to cover the type of amounts we can cover. Because I go down Union Avenue in Washington every day, and as a matter of fact, I went down there today, and there's, if you look at Union Avenue, almost the entire Union Avenue needs to have new sidewalks and curbs.
yeah.
So, but the question is, how much money are we looking at from the federal government? I don't know if you can answer that yet.
We can't, thank you, this is a good point. Whatever funding source that whatever we can address from the information that we gather from you, this is money that comes from the federal government. And this is from the Office of Housing and Urban Development. And they're the ones who appropriate the funds based on census tract. And I think it's going to be based on what comes out next year. We did the census this year, so whatever the results are next year. And so the city's in a position where we're not quite sure how much money we're going to be getting. We don't know. But whatever we get, and to whatever degree it is, what we want to be is prepared that when we get it, that we know from you guys where your priorities are in terms of needs for the neighborhood. We can't promise you everything, we can't promise you anything, because we're not in a position to say how much funding the feds are going to be giving all of you. But I like to be prepared. So, and I like to be educationally prepared, not just ignorant, like, well, I drive through West End and I see that they need this, so that's what we're going to spend money. No, I like to get from the people who actually live, work, and play here, what is going on here, and what do you need, and how can we dedicate the funding to make sure that your needs are met as best as possible. It's sort of the caveat, because I can't say
Well, that's understood. I just wanted you to explain to people.
yes.
Okay, so if I can ask a question and put a statement in there. So in other words, this is for hard stuff. So when we talk about, a couple of people have said to me, they would like to know if, for instance, the Boys and Girls Club could get a bunch of this money to do a lot of work.
It's
And
not.
so, okay, so that's
Not for
clear,
that.
it's not for that.
Community development block grants typically go towards infrastructure improvements.
So we're not
So
gonna get green
sidewalks.
space either.
Well, that's good for me to know from the point of view that we're going to
Yeah.
do a comp plan. So, to the extent that we can tie things in and understand it.
It could be a public plaza or a park. It's considered,
Infrastructure, green
Playground?
yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, it could be considered. HUD has various categories under the Community Development Block Grant Program. And it could be considered connected to another aspect that is clearly eligible for funding. So yeah, it's possible. I mean, if you're unsure, put it down. At the very least, it will be considered. Also, there are other issues today that don't fall under land use, land and zoning, but that we'll bring back to the city,
security,
department, and communicate whether it's enforcement, building issues, things of that nature. But yeah, public parks, recreational space for the neighborhood, I would think that would be.
What about like that? You see the side, that's the one we're doing. I'd like to see the unit very nice and neat. We had a mess. There's a lot of people when they come in our neighborhood to buy stuff. There's a lot of people who die.
Yeah. And look at that wall that's been tarred over that used to have a sign on it. Painted over.
Uno de que se
Aesthetics, landscape.
street furniture.
They did the awnings, that was nice, when everybody, they did that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that program is there's still allocation
That was nice.
funding for that program for this area.
Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you guys want to make sure that we take back with us?
You know what say, how long we can use, like the cameras and then that'd be nice.
Security.
Yeah, just to tell, the police and you say you don't have to run, you don't have to but just to keep it, the people before.
I'd like to go back to sidewalks. A couple years ago, there was we done the sidewalk on 7th Street, and we saw the curb came up like about 6 inches of normal. And last year it was done on 7th Street. Whoever did that job was a lousy job. I don't know how the city paid those contractors to do that lousy job. That's another question. The question is, the people in between, they're like in the pool. When it rains on the corner on 6th Street, the curb is the normal height, and then comes down. So when it rains, you get the water by our door because the curb is already low.
So drainage is a problem.
It's not great. The sidewalk is, it was not done, as I said before. You put it close of the blacktop, and there's no curb anymore. So the water comes up to the door back.
Question that all of the wires, that there seems to be so many wires overhead. A lot of it has to do with, I guess, cable company. They leave them hanging, and there's just, they're just draped across the street. Many of those, what looks like maybe a 3-family house, but there's just 10 or 15 wires or whatever. A lot of them. We do something about all the wires overhead. Some of them are not connected anymore either.
I mean, we did that on North Avenue, the underground with no line.